It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Come on, the peace train.
Yeah, Sierra had to remind me, push the button, man. Push the button. Yeah, I got to get in the habit of pushing the button. You know, the one I really want to focus on the reasons why we do this stuff, and certainly what motivates me personally. And a lot of times it's, you know, all of this is funded by the support of individuals. You know, it's not all concentrated in, just me or, one other person or whatever. I mean, there's support. And the reason is because they are of the same mind as I am. And it doesn't take a lot. I mean, we live very small. We get a lot done. It'd take gazillions and trillions of dollars for other people to do what we do because we motivate a lot of volunteers, put a lot of effort in. And Sierra's in there now. We're dismantling. We got the whole workshop is totally empty. Here, I'll go ahead and give you a shot here. We'll look down, and you'll just see empty, empty, empty. Can we get a shot of that from here? Yep, all empty. It's just empty, empty, empty. And what we're doing is we're going ahead and having towards the end of the month is when we're done with the shop here. And so we got a week to get everything disassembled. And I'll talk to Ian over to LRN. I'd like to take some of my best shows and we'll consolidate them into reruns for next week so we can set up the studio and not have to worry about, stress, man, because there's a lot of wires. But I have so many good shows that I'd love to, play again for you. Yesterday, Traffic Ants one was a really good one. Just recently we had Sibel Edmonds. There's some old Karen Kwiatkowski I'd love to have. Lou Rockwell's. I mean, there's just, especially as the news that's going on today, it puts a lot of things into context. You get an idea of what's going on. Well, if I can explain myself, you'll understand why I take the actions that I do in the order that I do. When you have universities that are, I would say, we look 4 years ago, okay, this right now, 4 years ago, February of 2007, we had just, right now, while we're dismantling this workshop and moving it, we were just putting together the first Ron Paul Revolution workshop. Nobody ever heard of Ron Paul. Nobody ever even saw the Revolution logo. Nobody had any concept of what was coming. We did. We knew what was going to happen. We knew that you go into an entirely new generation next, the youth, and you infect them with the concept of self-ownership. How that can be articulated by someone like Dr. Paul that knows exactly what's going on. Now, everybody would have a better way. Like Traffic Ant was saying, yeah, he needs to be more fire and doing this and everything. I go, yeah, but he didn't do 7 years in jail. So everybody's got their balance. He's head of some committee now. He's always wanted to be in there. We'll see what happens with that. Well, he's got his own game plan. Power to the people. That's one beach I don't have to land on. He's got Congress take care. Heck, he raised his son's now senator. So, I mean, it's hard to argue with that kind of success. I mean, we'll see what happens, but, the boy's got something going on. But it's not what I'm concerned with. What I'm concerned with is the revolution between the ears. The realization of an entire planet that comes up with... I remember reading something, it was an article about John Locke. And his concept of self-ownership, of being the sovereign, that you own yourself more than some king does, that was, like the law of gravity. That was a principle, a fundamental base understanding that infected the minds of people. And decades later, the American Revolution, based on this concept. Without that understanding, without that concept, without Thomas Paine's common sense, which, elaborated on it, without Jefferson's Declaration of Independence, which elaborated on that, without, you would not have what we got now. What do we have? We have a kernel. We have a remnant. We have a little bit of this understanding that I rule me. All the other stuff is just compliance. Comply or die. Okay. Bubblegum lights go off. Yep, you pull over. You respect my authority. Yep. Yes, and boss, you got the gun. You will do and comply and get and permit and license, and you're right up to the point that, I'm just, I don't want it that bad. I'm not going to do that. I'll go do something else. The economy goes to crap, everything. Everything is a derivative of self-ownership, the understanding of this. And I don't care how altruistic you are, how communist you are, how zeitgeist you are. I mean, these guys, well, we'll just make it because people want it. We'll just make it because we can make it. And I go, you guys need to go read iPencil, man. How do you think that graphite, that dirty old whatever gets, mined and booted? Oh, because we just, people know and just want to. Okay. So, what do they need to understand? Fundamental philosophy, I own me. From that, everything else can be built on that foundation. Here in the United States, we were very successful in creating the concept of self-ownership and how that applies in so many different areas of your life with the Levolution. It gave them an ability to rally. It gave them the ability to communicate with each other. We have a lot of peer-to-peer, liberty, freedom-oriented individuals that are, making do. We have new technologies that are available. We have an enormous amount of investment that's paid off in people just being able to communicate these ideas and understand them themselves. I'm good. 2012 election cycle. How much Ernie do they need, his finger on the button? Because always I'm going, I'm tired for decades. I'm tired of having to keep the pressure on the button all the time here in Arizona. I always got to keep my finger on the button. You're always going to have to do something. You always have to, because we didn't have the internet. Because if it wasn't in front of the people, if there wasn't some, crazy Ernie action that we were doing to get media coverage, something that puts you on local television, something that gets an interview or whatever, something that puts you on the street, if you didn't constantly be tapping people on the forehead with a concept, they never got it in there to begin with. Because if they missed it the first time, or if they didn't have it reinforced, or if they, because they're under the deluge of propaganda from television. One of my favorite shows, Castle and House, all right? They're always injecting. Castle with the, Nathan is the star of that. He plays an author that's embedded with a police homicide detective, and he writes books, and he's friends with the mayor kind of thing. Well, what happened, the guy that plays that was the Captain Mal on Serenity, Firefly, a series that I really liked, and a lot of other people did too. So we kind of follow him over there. It's a good series. What are we on now? Oh, it's a two-parter. Oh, a two-parter. We had the first part just like, radiation, Cobalt-60 dirty bombs. Homeland Security guys come in and tell you, I'm like, here we go, man. It's indoctrination. So I'm just going, oh, man, can you get away from it? All right. So to throw a little bit, to Serenity, the movie, his daughter and mother are going to go to some thing. He wants to get them out of the city in case this happens. And it was a Camp Serenity. And I'm going, yeah, they're kind of throwing us a bone here, but is it good enough to keep these people that were so enthralled with this libertarian message that you're going to be part of this? I mean, come on, man. We'll see. Where are we going to focus our direction now? Do we have to put our thumb on the button for the 2012 election cycle, or is it on autopilot? Or did somebody take it? I don't know. We'll talk about it when we come back. You stay right there.